I forgot to ask you. So Christy watched it with you, right?
Yeah, well, she fell asleep near the end, but I mean, frankly, so did I.
Oh.
We're talking film and talking crap and filming this and fucking that. So grab a seat and grab a snack with your best friends Trey, Sterling, and Matt, the Film Fox.
Oh man.
Continuity error. I'm gonna have no glasses. Okay. Um. So, when did you guys watch it on Christmas?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas Day, Christmas night. Yep.
Okay. Now I gotta. I'm gonna ask you guys this because I have no idea. Because I really am genuinely curious after watching the movie. I'm gonna start it off this way because this will make me either go okay or really. But is this movie well received or poorly received by the public?
Uh, I would say it's
It's well received.
pretty. Well,
It's more well received than it is
yeah,
badly.
it's slightly more well received, but there's definitely is a contingent of people who don't like the movie.
Okay, so it's pretty fairly mixed, more positive.
Yeah.
Okay. So who wants
Yep.
to start? Does someone want to start off? Just jump into it.
Go ahead, Trey.
Trey's frozen
Go
on
ahead,
me.
John.
Trey, can you hear me?
Yeah, am I there?
Yeah,
Can you
but
guys
you're
hear me?
frozen. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Oh. So Sterling doesn't want to go first. All right. So he's gonna love my review. I'll just give
Can't
my
wait.
overall thoughts. Uh, it really sucked not watching a blockbuster. Where's Uncle Buck? Um, a blockbuster movie in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really missed that. I really felt that sitting on a couch at an angle, 5 feet from the screen, and I paused it a
And
bunch
2
of
feet
times
from
to
your
go do
dick.
something. Um, exactly, you got to do the math there, ladies and gentlemen. Um, so, uh, so overall thoughts. I mean, disappointed. I thought it was kind of like okay, so kind of like other movies. I like a movie finishing strong. To me, this did not finish strong at all. I was probably an 8 out of 10 before the last 20, 30 minutes, and it kind of fell flat in its face. We'll get into that later. I don't want to sound like a robot, but but I am. I'm sorry. Uh, Entertaining until, like I said, the last 20, 30 minutes. Wonder Woman. There's some stuff I really love about the end. There's like one thing about the end they established that I love, and I will get into that too. But yeah, overall disappointed. Not horrible, not bad, but it fell flat on its face in the end.
All right. I think Sterling should go next.
Yeah, Sterling.
Yeah. Trey, I kind of share most of your thoughts. Although I think I actually like the ending better than you, which is kind of interesting. But I think overall, compared to the first one, it is a disappointment. Um, and there's definitely some big issues I have with the movie, but like I didn't watch any reviews before watching this, so um, there wasn't like any chance that something kind of dictated my thoughts on the movie before watching it. Um, so I don't know. I just kind of enjoyed it a lot more than some people apparently um, didn't enjoy it at all. So despite the kind of the big plot points that I had a problem with, I did enjoy it quite a bit. Um, but I do think there's some important parts of the first one that make it superior for me. So in comparison, it's a disappointment, but I would definitely recommend at least watching it once one time. So
Okay, I'm glad I had Sterling go. Because I'm probably gonna have the most extreme view. I thought it sucked. Like I didn't care for it. And
Oh,
I don't like
Interesting.
using the word sucked very often. Thank you. But it was okay. Now here's the thing, and I'll even say I wasn't disappointed by it because I now I'd say out of the three of us, I'm the least involved in the hype of at least DC movies. I didn't watch Aquaman. I never watched Justice League. I haven't seen any. I haven't seen a lot of them. I don't think I needed. As far as I understand, this movie is still before everything, right? So it's Wonder Woman. I could watch because I have seen Wonder Woman, and this is Wonder Woman 2, and I don't need to watch Justice League to get anything in this movie, right? I didn't
No.
think so. So I watched the whole I'll say this too. It was fun at different times. I wasn't like this is the worst movie I've ever seen, but it just my expectation was I don't remember the first one really well. I haven't watched it since it was in theaters, I think. But I remember having a positive experience watching the first movie and liking it. And going, "Oh, that was pretty good." This one, maybe it's because I'm kind of out of touch with what I expected from some of because I haven't seen the last few DC movies, and maybe I'm kind of out of touch with how that universe is. But the biggest thing I can say about this movie, cheesy. I thought it was just really cheesy.
You're correct on
mm,
that.
And
yeah.
so that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying to Christy was I was like, I can't tell if this is part of the vibe and I'm just out of touch with how the movie's supposed to be. Or if it's intentionally supposed to be cheesy in some parts. It was hard for me to tell. So,
Yeah.
but anyway. And we can get into it because I didn't even, there was a certain point where I just stopped writing stuff down. I was like, I've got plenty to talk about here because there's a lot of stuff I didn't get or like or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say
I
this to start it off, if you guys don't mind, because I think this could get right into the discussion. I paused the movie at a certain point to check. I'm not joking. Wonder Woman is at the beginning of the movie. She fights some guys in a mall. That's about 10 to 15 minutes into the movie. She does not appear again as Wonder Woman until an hour and a half into the movie.
Damn.
I'm not kidding. She's not in her. Me and Christy were watching, and the next time you see her in her outfit is when she's chasing Max Goldcock down the highway with all the army guys, and that is an hour and a half into the movie. So we go over an hour without any Wonder
Wow.
Woman action. And that should now there's a scene where she fights she beats up the would-be rapist. But we don't see anything. It just kind of like cuts, because she's supposed to be doing it quickly so the girl doesn't see. But we don't really see it. We just see him. He's over by a trash can jerking off or whatever. And then we see there's like one other thing. I can't remember. She's not in her outfit, but there is one other. Oh, the invisible jet. That's the only other Wonder Woman-y type thing that happens. An hour. How do you have a blockbuster action movie with an hour of explanations and exposition and no actual action or content?
I'll be honest, I didn't feel that at all. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I feel like I need to watch it again just because, like I told you guys, I paused it like 3 or 4 times,
Okay.
left the room a couple times. So maybe I didn't feel it because of that, but that is interesting that she wasn't in her outfit for that long amount of time.
And I will say, I'm not necessarily saying that the movie, just because she wasn't in her outfit, there couldn't have been entertaining or funny parts, but it was just interesting to me. It's like when Godzilla came out and he's only on screen for 20 minutes. It's like Wonder Woman's on screen for maybe 20 minutes of the movie.
Sure.
They really, I think, focused on, as you say, I mean, story, character building. I think, I mean, I'm not sure if this will, Sterling, keep your thought on what he said, but I think they kind of did a good job with bringing back Trevor, or whatever his name is. At first, I didn't like it because they they show him as a different person, right?
That confused the
It
Yeah,
shit
confused
out of
me.
me, dude.
it did.
And then it pans around her and he brings him into the fold. I'm like, okay, are they saying that he now looks like himself again,
Or I still
or
don't
that
know.
she's the only one? No,
No,
no, no, no.
no. I mean,
So she sees him as the other guy because later on when he's trying on different outfits, he looks in the mirror. He still looks like the guy he took over the body. So
Yeah.
they double they make sure that the audience knows. Okay, he still looks like the other dude,
Yeah, to other
but because of
people.
the namesake, yeah,
What
just
I
for
was
us, the
wondering,
audience. Okay, it's him.
what I'm wondering though is, does she literally see him as Chris Pine?
No,
Or is it it's for,
because she
so that's what you mean, the audience is seeing, just so that we're not confused, we know, okay, this is Chris Pine, but she's
yeah
still seeing him
she
as
says it.
the outfit guy.
yeah.
She says it like she says it while she's like he's getting dressed. I think like
Okay.
she says I'll paraphrase. I still only see you, like you know
Okay, gotcha.
because like does he like am I
But
yeah because he's like being so, like insecure about his looks as a new person.
Yeah.
But anyway,
well, that
Sterling.
that's kind of part. That's kind of part of the movie that I don't know. There's kind of disturbing implications a little bit with
Because
Steve
they,
Trevor like taking over another person's body. Like exactly,
Is it
exactly,
something
man.
I thought
like
about that
zip?
too.
Oh, I won the lottery.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's kind of
3
what
extra
was so weird
inches.
in the
Now I'm at 3.5.
yeah. But that was what was weird by the end when she sees him, the guy that
Oh my
had
god.
Trevor.
Ah,
Like
yeah.
I don't know, it was just kind of a weird choice. Like, and that kind of like again, I have an overall positive impression of the movie, but the the way the wishing worked in the movie was confusing
That's the other
because
thing. Yep.
why? Well, first of all, she didn't even say I wish that Steve Trevor would come back. Like she just kind of thought about it, and
She's
then it happened.
yeah.
Like,
It they never had it didn't have any set rules because even Amanda was like, or somebody I was watching with said, wait. She Wonder Woman didn't say it out loud, but I think because of that they established you can just even say in your head while you're holding it, it still comes
sure,
true. So we don't know what she said. You know.
Yeah.
but it was still confusing because like people would get their wishes granted, and it would come exactly true. So why, when she wishes for Steve to come back, why does he take over someone else's body and not come back?
Yeah,
Maybe it's
that's
just
weird.
like it's the spirit.
Yeah.
Maybe I mean his body was
And
exterminated in that blast.
Yeah,
that's a good
Yeah,
point. Sometimes it was magical, and sometimes it would kind of happen like that. The magic of the wishes was vague, because it would be like the one of the first wishes was his secretary Jacqueline. He's like, wish for more help or whatever, and she's like, yeah, I wish we had help. And then like an intern comes in, and you go, okay, well, is this just a magical being that came into existence, or was this guy actually looking for the thing and it happened? And the main thing that I could see is when there's the Irish guy, and then the chick is like, oh, I wish you damn Irish people would just go back to your fucking country or whatever. And
they
then
start arresting him.
they start arresting him. But then there's times where like the one guy says, I wish I could reclaim my kingdom or whatever, and a fucking wall comes out of the ground. So I'm like, well, are you
yeah.
going to do straight up magic, or are you going to do like things happen to work out the way the wish wanted? So it was a little weird. It was just vague.
That's
They
true.
never explained it really. So I kind of accepted it
Wasn't it?
after a while.
Wasn't it such plot armor for the first wish to be granted was that random scientist dude that walked over, just grabbed it randomly. I wish I had coffee, and he walks
That made me
away. And the
giggle.
coffee guy is like, I have an extra coffee.
That literally made me giggle when
Why?
he went, oh, and looked over at him. I was like, what the fuck?
Why would he
Yeah.
even do that? He doesn't know his grants wishes. Like, what the hell was that all about?
Yeah, I didn't even think about
Yeah.
that part of it, but that's true. Because I would
Such
have,
plot. This is
and
such plot armor.
I mean, that was so weird. I still actually don't. Did they ever explain? Because part of it might have been I missed some of it, but did they ever actually explain what that stone was or where it came from?
Yes, it was from one of the gods. I can't remember his
Oh yeah,
name, but
the bad boy, bad guy, evil ones. Yeah,
Okay, I think
I
I
forgot the
remember the
name.
scene where they were talking about it, but I kind of like missed what they said and I didn't rewind it. So I was like, that's why I was leaving it like
yeah,
up to maybe I just missed it. So
Sterling.
yeah,
Didn't she say like near like when she was first looking into it that I think it was this god or whatever.
yeah.
He
No,
did
she
this for
said that.
this reason, but later on, she's like, no, it's this guy. It was this god that does it. No, and she freaked out. You remember that?
I don't.
Like she changed who she figured out really who it was at like later on.
Well,
I,
I
I
don't know if you.
remember that specifically. I don't know why.
Well, maybe you're talking about the scene when she realizes the stone was destroyed and Max Lord became the stone itself. I think maybe that's the scene you're talking about because I
But
can't
that's when
remember.
she says something and it's sitting there. The ring. She reads what's inside the ring, and then she says another god or whatever. As like I
Mm,
said, I have to rewatch it again. But like I remember her saying it's a different. Oh, she's like, I was wrong. It was this guy instead, or
yeah,
I thought it
I
was
mean
weird. Weird that they. Yeah.
all I remember is one of the Greek. It was one of the Greek gods that I'd
Hmm.
never heard of, but yeah.
so I like I do want to say just to get positives out because I'll probably have I'll have more negative, but some positive things I'll say is that besides the fact that it was vague, the magic and stuff, I I
Mhm.
do like the concept of the guy making himself the wish. It was and answer me this if because I don't know. It was a little unclear. He needed to keep having people make wishes so that he could like live longer. Did they ever explicitly say what was up with him? Like him like getting sick or whatever and then it was like the more wishes he granted, that's what he was trying to get more people cuz then he would
Yeah, it was
be
weird.
healthy. I was started off as
I,
a compliment, and then I remembered how confusing that was. I was gonna say I actually there what maybe it's just because I like that guy's what's his name Pedro
Pedro Pascal.
Pascal.
Pascal. He was actually to me the best performance in the movie. I
I
really
agree.
I really liked I really liked him when he was getting really desperate for wishes. He just did a good job at the acting because it really
Mm,
felt desperate.
Yeah.
But and so I think that's probably why I kind of like ended up liking his character. Um, like with all the stuff of trying to grant the wishes, but there was so much vague shit going on where it's like they didn't quite give an explanation.
Well,
Like or did they and I missed
yeah,
it?
the vague thing was. Well, the vague thing is that gets her wish. Cheetah gets her wish, and then he like later on he's like just you get one wish. When he turns himself in and he's like touching people he's like saying you get one wish. But here's the thicker. Cheetah got a second wish
I noticed that too.
on the helicopter. So what the hell was that all about? Like, if he's and why did he just wish for all his pain to go away if he was the all being? This someone has to wish it for him. Like a lot of vague shit. You know.
We need fucking Genie
yeah.
from Aladdin to come in and tell us the rules. That's what I was thinking. I was like, damn, can we get
Yes.
a fucking
Yes.
musical number here? I want to know what's going on with these
Well,
wishes.
well, this is WB, man. They got to ask Disney for that
God.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
Uh,
I'll this is a good segue, I think. The Pedro vote for Pedro. Cut that out. But
all your wildest dreams will come true.
yeah. Literally.
Your wildest wishes. Your wildest wishes.
We should make a t-shirt. We should make a
Oh
Film
god.
Fucks t-shirt with that the character from this movie. It says let all your wildest wishes come true. Vote for Pedro. Um
In the
but
same
anyway,
font.
I thought his acting was great. Gal Gadot, she's good. Kind of she's there. Chris Pine is Chris Pine. You know, love him or hate him. I don't I
I,
like him.
I love him.
Kristen Wiig, I thought she was fine. She's funny. I like Kristen Wiig. I think she's really funny. But it seemed like she had to really work to make some of the material work because there's so much cliche in her character at the beginning that I was laughing. When she walked into the building and she was like, "I'm a nerd, drop my shit." Hey, whatever. And it was like, and I was like, she really had to work on that line because the dialogue, a lot of times, the lines for her were really bad most of the time. But I found myself laughing sometimes because just the way she would deliver stuff was kind of funny. But
Yeah.
That's the other gripe I would have with this is there's so much cliche in this movie that I felt like I said with Sonic, I felt like I was watching a movie from 2005. I feel like I'm Wonder Woman 2. I feel like I'm watching a superhero movie from 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't fully disagree with that. Kind of going more to positives, I think. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I actually think I'm not claiming Gal Gadot like is a world class actress, but I actually do think I saw some improvement in her from the last movie, as far as like, especially some of the, like the emotional scenes with her and Steve. I like some of those scenes actually worked for me. Like they actually had some impact to them. And I, credit to her for doing that. Especially when she had to say goodbye to him again.
That was memorable. That was a good performance, especially that they kind of did. It was actually kind of a cool take where they had, I don't know how they did that, where the camera follows her from the goodbye as she runs into the street. That was memorable to me.
It's really quick for me. Like she's like,
yeah,
she's like, I renounce my wish. I start running fast. Like, okay, so that's where you're talking about the cheese earlier. To me that was really cheesy. I wanted more emotional.
No, yeah,
and like you said, it was one take. One take from like him disappear in the corner. Like, oh, bye bye, and then she's like, I will renounce my wish. I'm a baby. I want to run fast. Well, use my rope as a as a tool of destruction. But
the fucking rope.
yeah, she did really well. I've always thought she's been a decent, better than Dave Bautista, that little knucklehead. She's and here's the issue. Here's the other keep that thought straight is anybody with an accent is not a good actor. Is this 2020 or are we back in 2003? Like, come on, can we get back in the times? Even if they have an accent and there's a little bit of hint, you can't understand a word they're saying, that they're bad. No, she's a good actress. To me, she's good. She's not great. She's not amazing. She's good. Screw all the haters, because she's Wonder Woman for life.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Your face. What do you say, Phil?
You're talking about a certain someone starts with the C. His last name starts with the C. I know that.
No. I'm just going for everybody, but yes, she's one of the pack. Yeah,
the director of the 1987 Fly movie, starring Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
How the hell do you know that? How did he know that?
I don't know.
Your IQ is top notch.
The other thing that was really memorable to me, mostly because of the music, but her flying, like for the first time, I thought was a really good scene. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but
near the end.
No, when she's remembering what Steve said in the plane about why he loves flying so much. And then she's flying.
Well, yeah, it is near the end. She doesn't. So like they. That's what I was going to tell you earlier. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Was the one thing I really did like was at the end, the very end, they fully established she can fly, and I love that. She's starting to learn how to fly when she's using the rope, and she starts to glide and kind of sink a little bit, and then she gets there, and then they establish it later when she has no rope on her side, and she's really flying. Because I'm a Wonder Woman can fly person. Because in Justice League animated series, she flies. So obviously they're going to probably retcon that in the next Justice League if they continue it, or she will fly because she doesn't do that in obviously the first one. Even though spoiler for you there, Maddie Pooh.
Yeah.
You're going to see
I was wondering about that. I was even wondering
maybe
watching this movie. I knew she didn't. I couldn't remember her flying in the first one, and I was like, but then there's
or
even
Batman vs Superman, right?
or Batman vs Superman. I remember her jumping really far.
Yeah.
I thought she was
Mhm.
doing like remember the 2004 or what was it 2004 Hulk movie where he just jumps to different continents.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we got to review
yeah.
that sometime. But we should do
Yes.
a Marvel rewatch thing when we watch through all the movies or whatever. But instead of the 2009 one, we just watch that one, and we pretend
Yes.
like it's just part of the Marvel universe.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, here's
Yes.
the deal, and call me a cold.
That's my favorite Hulk.
Mine too.
Come again?
Call me a cold pickle here. Call me a banana in the pooper. But the action, most of the time there was any action, flying, her using the whip, it looked kind of bad to me. It looked just cheesy. It just looked like really goofy, like Spy Kids kind of goof to me, and I don't know why. Like, and there's there's one particular moment that to me where I was like, maybe I had different expectations, and I thought I remembered the first movie being a little more. I felt like the physics sometimes in this movie were like a little kid playing with action figures. Like he shoots the missile, she latches onto a missile, and then like there was some stuff like that where it was like, I don't know what's happening here, but it's a little goofy. I feel like though, if I had the expectation of it being a more light movie, I probably wouldn't have been like, what the fuck, when I saw that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Here,
That was
okay.
goofy.
Before we go into more details, some of the negative reviews I've seen this movie like are really vicious. And listen, you can be as vicious as you want to this movie, but like, I don't know. I feel like because it's been 10 months since anyone's been to a theater and watched a superhero movie, it's like people have forgotten that a lot of superhero movies do a lot of the same things that this movie does. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading that, but like there's a lot of like MacGuffins in this movie, but like there's so many MacGuffins in
Yeah.
any superhero movie I can think of. Like, that's not to say there aren't some things in this movie that definitely need a lot of work, but anyway,
I really want to. Yeah, I really want a Superbad too, but we don't need to talk about those. But I really do think that
what
he got McLovin. He's a McMuffin. I'm sorry. Anyway,
you know what a MacGuffin is, though, right?
Explain it to our audience.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, McMuffins aside, I think there's probably some truth to that. And I'm not knocking, like I said, I'm not knocking too hard on the kind of goofy stuff. It's just that
Sure.
maybe I should have watched the first one right before I watched this one. But let me ask you guys this, and I don't know, maybe you guys remember the first one better than I do. Was the first one as goofy though on some of that stuff? Because I felt like the second one had a different tone almost.
No. Here's the thing. Like, one of the reasons I like the first one better is the setting. I think the setting of World War One is a lot better than the '80s setting, like comparatively.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the cheese in this movie probably the intention behind that was probably because we're our settings in the '80s,
80s action kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, I mean, I don't exactly know, but I think that's why the first one feels a lot more gritty and grounded, because obviously World War One, one of the most brutal wars, and so I think that could be an explanation.
Yeah.
I think unfortunately. Oh.
No, go ahead.
I think unfortunately this one kind of fell in the same way that even though I enjoyed and liked the movie I'm going to talk about, The Kingsman 2, I still enjoyed it. It got too comfortable in its own skin immediately after a very successful first one. and it tried to play into it played away from its strengths.
You
And
said it that
like
perfectly.
yeah.
Well, I agree, and I won't go on a big Kingsman bender, but I loved Kingsman, loved it, and I can tell you exactly what you said there is true. It's like the first one had some kind of quirky stuff that was a little odd.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was like, hey, people liked the quirky stuff in the first one. Let's make the whole movie weird. And
Yeah.
that's what happened. But
I hated it. Like I said, I liked the second one. But
I liked it too.
like,
I liked it too. I liked both of them, but you could see that they kind of like went way too far.
Went too far.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
That's a whole other story, but
yeah. But this one, like I'm saying, it got too comfortable in the skin. Patty got a little too high in her britches, and maybe she might fall out of grace with Star Wars. And bye Patty.
Did she
bye
direct
Kathy.
some? Did she direct some Mandalorian episodes, or am I wrong about that?
No, she didn't. No.
What is
no.
What is her attachment to Star Wars then? Because I thought I recognized.
She's directing the new movie.
That's what it was.
Anyway, I mean, jokes aside, it played too much into the cheese. Just like there's some MCU movies that do that as well. But hopefully they'll learn from this and make a really, really good third one.
Well, yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Exactly.
Little league home runs for me, baby.
Oh wait!
No, it's hard to tell.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's hard to tell who had more control because, if I'm not mistaken, I think the script was written by both Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is he's like the head of DC Comics, I think.
Interesting.
And he was, yeah. So
R.I.P.
I'm kind of curious. Like how much, like which scenes were more influenced by Jeff and which ones were more influenced by Patty. You can never tell. But
you can't. Well, Jeff kind of fell out of grace. They just kept him on because he's a really good writer. But I think Patty got so much love and respect for how she directed the last one. They kind of gave her pretty good leash on this one, which maybe was a mistake.
Probably true.
I need to rewatch the first one, as I keep saying. I will say on this one, I think the old Snyder started off this DC universe with such a good impression when it comes to cinematography, because these other movies, like this one, was just, I can think of maybe there's a couple of interesting shots maybe that were just kind of cool. They played with the camera a little bit. There's one particular thing that I remember that looked really cool during the epic car chase scene. Chris Pine at one point, there's literally a scene where the camera's behind his shoulder in the car and he crashes into the car in front of him and then climbs out of the window onto it. I was like, that looked really cool. Other than that, the movie was not super memorable visually to me, other than a couple of, despite the bizarre action stuff I said was goofy, there's a couple of moments just as like frames that were pretty cool. Like when she's flying over the truck when it flips. It's not an action movie without a truck flipping, and I dug it.
Well, not the close-ups, but when it's zoomed out.
That's exactly
on her and she's in here.
That's a screensaver.
That's cool, and I think that's yes. And here's the other thing I was talking about earlier about the big screen. These movies are not made for our pee-wee size TVs at home. They're made to be viewed, especially the first time, because your first viewing, you can only make a first impression once, and you're in the big screen. Your jaws drop, the popcorn butter's coming down your chin. You're just loving it. And in the living room, the auto dimming on your TV can go flicker a little. And you're like, what the fuck was that? And then you miss a little scene because you're worried about your TV settings. And well, that's just me, maybe. But
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Plus,
it's not the same. The movie theater is the way to go.
The theater seats, at least you got popcorn to munch and a comfortable seat while you're waiting the other 2 hours where there's no action. But
well,
Sorry.
Matt.
No, there was a lot of. I was gonna say there's a lot of exposition scenes, but there isn't. They don't explain anything, but there's just a lot of dialogue. They don't explain anything, which is usually like Batman vs Superman had a lot of exposition scenes, but they were explaining shit and introducing characters and shit, right? It's like nobody wanted it, but it was there. I mean, it would have been nice if it would have been nice if Wonder Woman just pulled up a laptop and watched a bunch of video files that explained to us what the wishes were. I'd be okay with it.
Yes.
But no, I'm exaggerating. I mean, if I really hated the movie, I wouldn't. I paid attention the whole way through. I didn't despise it. And me and Christy were watching, and we were like, you know what? It's. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's so bad it's good, because I actually don't think it's that awful. It's just that it's because it is fun to watch. Generally.
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
Well, Matt, I agree with you as far as like, I mean, the action definitely. I mean, there were times where it was definitely obvious, like green screen effects. the compositing just was not there for several of the action scenes, and so that was definitely disappointing to see that for sure. That just kind of shows that they probably didn't have a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
In post production, which is kind of unacceptable, especially since they delayed the movie. So.
Yeah. I'll say this. Yeah, I can see that. I'm pretty forgiving. I'm fairly forgiving on visual if the visuals are a little off due to something like that. I think it was the
some
combination.
Of the running scenes were weird.
What?
Some of the running scenes were kind
of
weird.
That's what too. It was. Yeah, some of the running was a little odd. There's like when she was running, it always looked a little. It almost looked like in Kung Fu Hustle, the Looney Tunes chase. It was a little odd. It just looked weird. But
hey, Kung Fu Hustle is a masterpiece.
yeah, that'd be a good review. That'd be a good one. So let me ask you guys this: what did you think of Cheetah? We kind of talked about Kristen Wiig cracking jokes and stuff, but what did you think overall of her character arc, the costume reveal? What did you think?
So, the costume, I think the CGI didn't look great, but I think the practical effects, like her makeup, was all right.
Yeah.
I think her character arc was a little underwhelming, partially because it kind of didn't make sense why she would wish like that wish. I don't like
the apex predator.
It was kind of a weird thing to have her say. Yeah, like why would she specifically ask to be an apex predator? Like I don't know. It just
she liked the cougar skin. She liked
I know yeah. It built it up a little bit as far as her liking the aesthetic of leopard or leopard print, cheetah print. But
I thought you said leopard. I was like, ooh,
leopard. But no, like I don't know. I just feel like she could have wished to be stronger than Diana, and then
Well, they kind of make her that way.
Also, yeah, it was interesting. I think the thing to me was it wasn't just that it didn't make sense that she made the second wish. I was trying. That's
why she got it.
I was trying to figure out why did she go? Why did she turn evil? Because it's sort of like not evil. She wasn't like straight up evil, but she was very like
cold.
Yeah, she just got very cold and like she loved the power. And I can understand she's unnoticed and she's nerdy. And now everyone's watching her and she likes that. She doesn't want to give it up. But there was also like a part of her where she's like, vicious or something. And it was like, well, They did say, now I know Diana was saying that maybe, what did it take away from you? So was the idea that the wish literally was taking away some of her like personality traits?
Her
I
kindness.
guess,
Her kindness?
yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
I just felt
What
like,
I
I
would
feel like
say
if we
to
had
that,
just one more key thing, like if we had one other reason, like element, because they kind of did the thing where the guy's hounding her a bit, and I actually did like the scene where she like kept kicking him. That was kind of cool. It was just like kind of
um,
dark.
they don't explain that, which is annoying. Because when she's standing there, talking with Diana and Trevor about what their options were, Trevor's like, "Well, maybe we can do this without losing everything." And then they're like, "Okay, let's go, team, go." And she still, they didn't explain why she didn't go with them with the idea of, okay, we're gonna do this without losing
Yeah.
our gifts. It's like she didn't even hear him. Like she was deaf to the idea. Like so, it was a lot of plot armor. I keep on saying that it was. They just glossed over it, like no big deal. Like oh, we didn't say that, even though it's in the dialogue about saying let's do this without losing everything. And I think it was when they're in that room and then she leaves. They're talking in a dark room and they're figuring everything out
Yeah.
about the
She just
stone,
leaves.
and
Yeah, and
she
then
left even though Diana's like, okay,
let's
let's
listen
try to
to
do it
her.
without, because I don't.
Yeah.
Let's try to get this figured out without losing Trevor, my hot man, who
Yeah.
he doesn't look the same at all. Has black hair, not blonde hair,
And a bigger
and you can
dick.
keep being in a in a stronger human being. Anyway, I'll go
I
to what
can't
my
believe she
thoughts
had
about
sex with him without any
Leopard Girl.
person's body. That's really weird.
Uh, I know there's moral implications.
Yeah. That was odd.
I love that. I think
I did notice that I have a gripe with movies in general and TV shows now. Because I just finished Mandalorian and we can talk about that another time. But I just want to say, and this is a general gripe and or whatever. It used to be, and Marvel does this really well, I'll say. Like for instance, Avengers Endgame is and Infinity War are very confusing movies as far as there's a lot of different people doing a lot of things in different places. But those movies manage to keep you on track with what's going on and where. In movies nowadays, like I've seen a few movies now, and even Mandalorian seemed slightly guilty of it. It's like they never say, like, just whatever happened to a little thing on the screen that says what planet you're on, or like where you're at in the world, and how much time has
they did
passed. And the thing is, in
they did it
Wonder
a few times.
Woman,
Yeah.
did all of this happen in 2 days? Did all of it happen in 3 days, 2 weeks? I don't know. The movie never told me. And I don't know what happened. There's parts where there's wardrobe changes, and I'm like, does that mean a day passed? Like when she randomly shows up to the White House or whatever, Cheetah, and she's got it's before she's Cheetah, but she's got the jacket. She's that's when she first fights Diana. And I'm like, did she just go and change? Like she just had time to go and change before she, it was weird. It was like, but then I'm like, I mean, it's not necessary for the plot to move forward, but sometimes those details, just giving some account for time, how much time has passed and where you're at exactly. I know pretty much all of it took place in DC other than when they go to the Middle East, but
yeah.
I'm surprised
Yeah,
how
I
did
see
they
what you're
get
saying.
how did they get into the Middle East without getting blown out of the sky?
Visible jet,
She
big.
had the invisible shield.
It was the 80s. I'm sick of it.
I will say this. I'll finish my thought on Cheetah. I'm not. I think because the trailer showed her, it looked real bad in the trailers. Like where she like slides and it shows her like a half a second, half a frame or whatever,
Yeah.
or frame. I thought she looked actually when they do close-ups on her, she looked really good.
The
Like I thought the
makeup
CGI was
looked
way better
great.
than I thought it was way better than I thought it was gonna be. I was really expecting it to be Cast 2.0, and it wasn't.
Well, it's funny because I would have thought I saw the trailer I remember the trailer and I was like, this looks good, other than I'm worried that Cheetah is going to be super, Chester Cheetah cheesy and cut it. But I thought that was going to be it. And then I was like, oh, she wasn't that bad, really. I didn't even think I thought overall her even the little fight they had at the end, I kind of liked the way they even did it, where when Wonder Woman kind of uses the wings, they didn't explain how those worked. Is it just armor, or does she use telekinesis?
And why it just why it fell apart so easily.
Yeah, they just needed that for the poster, or what? She came in for 2 fucking seconds with that thing. But anyway, whatever. It was the 80s. So she puts
here. They show that clip of all those big Spartan soldiers beating the crap out of it, and it doesn't fall apart. But little cat comes in and scratches it all up, and it falls apart.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Were those supposed to be Roman soldiers? God. What was going on there? Was it like a
cross metaphor? Spartans. Oh, 301.
Well,
that's what
that final fight. That final fight definitely used the cover of Night to cover up the effects. Acne. I feel like. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
Fuck me in the ass and call me.
No, but seriously. But they used I could kind of tell that they were using the nighttime as kind of a way to deceive.
I also might have just suspended my disbelief at that point because I was late in the movie. It was kind of.
Wait, what?
Go ahead.
The cat?
Yeah.
Are you still talking about the cat? No, she was fine.
Yeah, whatever. But no, it looked okay. It looked better than I thought. But like I said, I was gonna say, Wonder Woman kills that bitch.
And she survived.
I know, but think about it. She goes, "You better
electrocute her."
I mean, that was fucking savage. She's like, "You better recount your fucking wish, or else, bitch." And then she's like, I never." He's like, "Fine." And then she electrocutes her. I was like, God damn.
Drowned her
I thought she straight up killed her. I was surprised when she was breathing.
She doesn't have a Batman code. She's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, damn, dude. That was
all for the greater good.
Yeah.
She would have killed Trevor if she needed to.
Yeah.
But she kind of did.
Did anyone die in this movie? I didn't see a single person die.
No. Let's talk about some funny stuff because I love the Pedro Pascal. Great, love the guy. Great, even getting shot in the head in Kingdom 2, come back a badass. Great. Spoilers. Showing a side of parenting you never could think of seeing. I'm not a failure. I thought having the kid around was hilarious.
Did you laugh? By the way, tell me, guys, did this stand out to you? Because me and Christy laughed whenever the very first time the kid walks into the office and that old man's in there. He's like, "I'm done with your shit, Pedro," or whatever. And then he walks out and he sees the kid. And then as he starts leaving, he goes, "Loser."
Yeah.
I'm not a loser. I'm not a loser.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? That was embarrassing. But why did he sees the guy's kid and then calls him a loser? It's a weird thing to call someone legitimately. It's a weird thing to call someone unironically. Loser.
I love it. I'll go before that. I love how he skates right past his secretaries. And the secretary's busting her little 6-inch heels off, chasing after him, and he gets to the top, and it's like, the kid's right there. It's your weekend, and she fucking walks off.
Yeah. He's like, shit.
And okay, so fast forward, and he has the powers, and she comes in, or he gets reminded again by the new secretary, the guy that comes out of thin air. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's your weekend again." He's like, "Why the fuck is it my weekend every weekend?" And then it shows a silhouette.
Yeah,
it shows a silhouette.
The little kid leaves. Oh,
he runs off.
I'll say this.
Can you tell me what the kid wished for? Do you guys understand him?
What do you mean?
Because he's like, don't wish for that. Don't touch me. Don't wish for that. Wish for something good.
Oh, what did he wish for? I don't know what you're talking about. I must have missed this.
Because so he's like
Uh,
holding his son, and his son's about to wish for something, and he backs away from. Don't wish for something like that minuscule. Wish for something big. And then the kid touches his leg and says something. Sterling, tell us what that was.
it was I think he said, "I wish for your success" or something like that. That's what I
Okay, I
It's
thought
the
it was
kid's
like you're
fucking
good.
fault.
I thought I wish you were good or something. But yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay, so he did. He already made a wish. Okay, because I didn't. I must have missed that part or wasn't paying attention or something. Because when he at the end of the movie, when the kid's like, "I wish you were here, Papa, Papa," I thought
He got
I
a
was like,
second wish.
isn't he gonna be there? What the fuck? Yeah, but no, he
No,
didn't
well,
because he never came back until
That's what I
after.
thought too. That's what I thought too.
So I was like, wouldn't he? I expected the guy to teleport back or something, or
no,
get
he
a
just
It's
fucking
not
steak
magic
pick
when
him
it doesn't
up.
have to be.
Yeah, I guess so.
he was just able to see
Like
his son because of the lasso of truth. So
oh yeah. Oh, can we? Okay, finish your thoughts if you want, because we're gonna get to that part.
Okay, well, just on the kid, I
Cringy.
will say, despite the kid's wish, and I didn't understand that, but I guess it's because he already had the first wish. Oh, I get it now. Cheetah. She's a cheetah. She got 2 wishes. Cut it. So so anyway, sorry. Oh god, that one I really
time to end
will
this
cut
call.
out. I think. Okay, reset. Anyway, about the kid. So
Well, I like that. Well, oh,
let me just
go
I'll just
ahead.
say because of his
I'm ready.
acting, which I did like, the only scene in the movie that got a little like, oh, like it made me there was a little bit of a, I mean, not emotional, but just like I was like, oh, this feels like starting to feel like something was him hugging the kid. But I think part of that had to do with I know at this point Hans Zimmer is probably just recycling his shit from the other 80 movies he's done because it all sounds kind of the same. But at the end, the music was really swelling, and the kids he's hugging his kid, they're crying. He's Mexican, the kid's Asian. Doesn't make sense to me, but I'm gonna ignore it. And it was great.
Way to undercut your positive review, Matt. Jesus.
I'm assuming that his mom was Asian.
You'd hope.
Yeah, that was the message of the movie for sure.
It'd be funny if it'd be
Pam Anderson. Is that what you're saying?
no, it'd just be funny if the kid was like wishing or whatever. He's like, "Don't wish for that. Wish for something bigger." And then he goes down, and then the father looks down. He's like, "Huh?" And his kid's just white.
Oh,
Cut it.
no.
Cut it.
No,
All right,
cut it.
sorry.
You
Cut that
gotta
one. We don't want to get canceled on our first big review. I'll have
Oh
that
my
all
God.
censored today.
I
All
can't
right.
believe
So-
All
it.
right.
Let's talk. Can we talk about the just the overall ending and kind of the overall message and what you guys
Yeah,
thought about
let's
that?
get
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
get
Well, wait,
there.
Trey, wasn't there something you were excited to get into?
No, that was the
Before?
kid thing. I thought that was hilarious.
Okay.
I was gonna the ending with the lasso and all that crap. Yeah, let's get into that. I
That lasso.
if you want me to go, just let me loose, buddy.
Go. Let loose. I'm opening the cage. Who let the dogs out?
I'm out.
Ooh.
Oh, the fish.
gosh.
Okay, let me reset here. I told you guys earlier that the last 20 to 30 minutes were dog shit, if you will. Uh,
You
just
said it
give
brought it
me
from an 8
two
out of 10
breaks
to
of a
what?
god. Oh, it's just a 6 out of 10 total. 6 out.
But it was
six
an
and a half.
8 out of 10 before the last 30.
All right, the cheat. Okay, so right after the battle of Cheetah, because I like the battle of Cheetah. Yeah, I thought she killed her. Okay, let's take out half a point because I wanted her to be dead, and they brought her back. WB kids are watching. All right, whatever. Great battle. So after the point of the battling, All right, and he's doing his little voodoo. You guys give me the wishes, and I'll give you the command. Doing something like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And all the world's falling apart. You're like, holy crap, this is bigger than I thought. The world's ending because they kind of insinuated that earlier. Last time this happened, the world ended, or you know, uh, when she's sitting there all defeated, in the corner like a little slut. She's sitting there. I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed because you're fucking Wonder Woman. You're going full bore. You got the lasso of truth. Get your bitch ass up there and knock his ass out, right? So here. This is let me do a recreation for you. I've lost all hope. You can't defeat me. And he looks down at his foot, shows his foot, whatever. And he's sitting there. And he's like, no, no! And he's seeing all the flashes, right? I forgot the movie already. I think he's seeing flashes with his son. And let me get to the point here. I know this is taking me a while. And she's sitting there, and she goes on this whole bullshit fucking tangent about non-bullshit sense. And I'm bored of tears about to fall the fuck to sleep. And I'm like, is this real? Thought crossed my mind. Is this how this bitch is gonna win? By talking him off the ledge? God! So pissed off. What a bullshit ending to a fucking action flick. I'm so pissed off. Fuck you, Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins. Thank you very little. That's it.
Yeah, I don't.
Wow.
But okay, honestly, what a sappy, cheesy ending with her just sitting there with tears in her eyes. I lost him again, 57 years later. Fuck you, bitch. You're Wonder Woman. End this thing. Like, are you kidding me with this crap? You're gonna talk him off the ledge. That's it. What a bullshit ending. Like, honestly, that really pissed me off.
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I kind of agree. I mean, as far as it's just it's hard to put all of it into words. It's like there was too many flaws for me with the magic system of this movie, and so the problem was that really took away from the ending because I kind of just like the stakes were so high, but I didn't quite know what they were. So then it's like, well, how am I supposed? Like, I'm like, wouldn't one of these people? How does it work if someone wishes for world peace and the other person wishes? Like, they're like, I wish we had missiles set up. You're telling me there's not one person that would have wished for Israel to be wiped off the face of the earth or something, or like all black people to die? I mean, I hate to say it, but we live in a fucked up world, and it was kind of weird that like everyone didn't die, not a single person died. But besides all that, let's put that aside. Let's put bigotry aside for a second. Let's say that everyone's like just afraid and they're wishing, or they're just selfish and they're wishing for wealth and stuff. It's
just the Scottish versus the Irish.
Yeah. Wait, we did see one person die. That one lady died. Did they resuscitate?
Well, she got back to life. I think they insinuated she came.
PG-13. PG-13.
Right. Okay, there's PG. Old Yeller was G, and a dog died.
That was funny. So they're doing CPR.
Which one's G?
I said what?
Wait, which one's G?
I said Old Yeller is G, and the dog died.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeller.
Disney. But anyway.
I love how they're.
What was I just saying?
I love how
I was
they're
going to say
CPR.
the ending.
I love it.
The ending, it was so vague that I felt like there wasn't any stakes by the end of it, because I'm like, at this point, the world's ending. I know they're going to stop it. The world's not going to end. So, but it was just that there was no tense. It wasn't tense to me, as tense as it could have been. And part of that was because I just didn't understand how it worked. Like at the end, he seemed like he was all powerful in a weird way because she couldn't even get close to him. And so it
Yeah.
was just a little odd, but and I think there wasn't enough action either in the movie. There's 3 action scenes basically. You have the opening mall scene. You have I guess you have the fight at
Pakistan.
the White House, and then you have the fight. You have the fight on the road in the Middle East, and then I can't. Where were they at? Cairo or something? And then they have the fight. Then they have the cheetah fight, and the cheetah fight was so quick, and then after that, it was a little like. Well, you know what? Changed my mind, Sterling. What was this ending about? What was the message she was preaching? What do you think?
I mean, I I I understand like what Trey is saying. Like, yeah, she is Wonder Woman. Like, why couldn't she get more physical or whatever? And I guess it was kind of lame that basically it was wind
It was
that was keeping her at bay from
it
from
was it was lame. It was a
going
cop
after him
out ending.
physically. But well, okay, this is my review. So anyway, um, uh, I, overall the message, obviously in its most simplest terms, is truth. Obviously, that was kind of what was explained at the very beginning in the flashback scene.
Boring.
Sure, okay. It kind of resonated with me a little bit, and so that's why I kind of do like the ending. Now, again, logically, it does seem like she could have done way more to keep him at bay, instead of just talk. But um, that's not what they did. So yeah, overall, the message was, um, you can't have it all. Obviously, no matter what you, no matter how much you want things to be different, the only thing that really keeps you free is truth. Because if you had the ability to wish things away that you wanted changed, what would it cost you overall? Like, and obviously a lot of people kind of became like Max Lord became a slave to all of these wishes. So I mean, it's kind of convoluted, but that's kind of what I got out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I mean, I did get that that was sort of the message they were going for.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't, it just didn't strike me in a profound way. Cause it's sort of a generic thing to say, like, and the monkey's
Sure.
paw thing, maybe if they did, I felt like they could have just done it better so that at the end, maybe that would have been more impactful. But it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
they didn't make it very personal a lot of times. Like I forgot until you just mentioned
Yeah.
it, the beginning scene where she lies. But I see where they're going with it. But I think by the time the
Execution
ending
was
came,
whack.
I might have already kind of like, I wouldn't say checked out of the movie because I was trying to pay attention. I wanted to kind of, I really was trying to give it a good go. And I didn't have any expectations at the beginning either. So, but I might have by the time the ending, and like I said, you have the speech, you have him hugging his son, the acting there, the swelling, the music. It was dramatic, and I think it had an effect. But yeah,
The post credit scene was definitely better. I don't know. I like the post credit
I
scene
didn't
with
see the
Linda
post credit
Carter.
scene because I was in a rush
I
too.
didn't. I didn't.
What
I didn't see
happened?
the post credit scene at all. Don't
Okay,
tell me. I want to watch it. I don't want to
Okay.
hear about it.
it was kind
Well,
of
I
nice.
can get off.
It was a
I'll get
nice
off. I'll
scene.
get off here. Go tell him. Wave out. Do this, and I'll come back.
Okay.
So the post credit scene, basically, it was a shot of what you think is Diana. It just shows her from behind, and she's like walking through this market, and then
Okay.
all of a sudden, like, this pole falls down, and it's about to hit like a little girl, and what you think is Wonder Woman obviously saves the girl from being smushed, and then the mother comes up to her, and she says, "Thank you." Like, who are you? And then she turns around. It's not Gal Gadot. It's Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman,
Whoa.
and she uh, the mother asks what her name is, and you find out it's Asteria, the original wearer of the golden armor. So, which
Oh.
means, yeah, so she survived.
So, but
She didn't
that's just
sacrifice herself.
but it's not actually supposed to be that Wonder Woman, right? From the original. It's not supposed to be it's just a nod that they're having her as an actress play this character. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I like that a lot. I thought it was a cool thing.
Interesting. Well, we'll get Trey. We'll have Trey watch it and then send me a video of his response, and I'll edit it in now. So yeah, that was Trey's response to the post-credit scene.
Hey, what do you want me to do?
Just later, I'll have you. I'll just watch it and then just send me a video of you going like, and you know what? Just do this. I'll cut this part of us talking now out, but just send it to me and just, watch it. And then you could say kind of a funny response like, yeah, blah, blah, blah happened. Fucking stupid or something like that. and then I'll just cut it back. So anyway, I'll cut it.
I love that.
So I'll just say that was Trey's response as if the video just played and it'll cut back to here. So that was Trey's response to the ending finale. Good take.
You know what's funny is I was watching the screen and I just saw this a lot from Sterling. I was like, what is he trying to explain how a monkey would react being in space? Like, what is he doing? It's like so long and convoluted. What is he doing in there?
Gorilla Grodd? All right, anyway.
Oh my gosh. If they do that in one of the... Oh, God. I will cry.
Oh, God, good or bad? Yeah. Because I like Gorilla Grodd.
He's in Justice League animated show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm
Sterling,
just saying,
why are you such a buzzkill?
What did Sterling say?
Shut the fuck up.
What did you say?
He's trying to buzz our kill.
No, I'm giving a fact. But anyway, go ahead.
What's the fact? I missed it. What did you say?
The gorilla
is a Flash villain. Originally, is a Flash villain.
In the comics.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but he's a
well-known. Trey's like, oh, that's a buzzkill.
I mean, he's a well-known DC villain. I think he could show up at any of these things.
Yeah.
I mean, any of them can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, what a movie! What a post-credit scene!
You know what? I mean, I'll say this. I mean, we've been going here, and we'll end it here in a second. But we've been going for an hour and 10, and I don't think we've really strayed from the movie. And that's what I was saying to Christy. And this is the thing. Even though I was like, I'm not kidding. The moment in the movie when the guy who was Chris Pine, but she didn't know it was Chris Pine, that the black-haired guy that he's possessing, he goes up to her and the camera spins around, and I already knew, I'm like, one of the times it's gonna spin around, it's gonna be fucking Captain Kirk, and it spins around, and it's there, and I literally was just like, this movie sucks.
Is that what you really thought?
Well, the first I thought the movie got progressively more tolerable, or maybe my expectation changed a little, where I was like, I'm just gonna have fun with it and not expect it to be good at this point. But the first 30 minutes was so chock full of cliches and just the same shit we've seen in every superhero movie and everything. I hate fish out of water jokes, and I hated the this is cool, right? Oh, it's a fucking fanny pack. That's fucking funny. So I'm sorry, cut it. But anyway, man, I got off on a tear there. But I was gonna say, here's my point. My point is this: Trey gave me the same look when I watched the first Wonder Woman and said that I hated the fish out of water jokes in that movie. He was like, "What are you fucking talking about? It's funny." And so does everyone, by the way. So I'm alone.
You hate
on
comedy.
That. Exactly.
You hate comedy.
When he walks by the trash. When he walks by the trash can, and she's like, "Oh, that's just a trash can."
That was funny.
That
I like the modern art is garbage. No, I get that stuff. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It wasn't as bad as I thought. No. But I'm just kidding.
No.
I was exaggerating to be funny.
No.
The parachute pants?
Yeah, that stuff. The stuff that they put in the trailer that was in the movie, it went on too long. I was like, you're cutting these scenes where you maybe had Chris Pine improv, but it's not funny enough to keep in here. Uh, I mean, like, I'm not saying it
Yeah,
can't be funny. I'm not trying to be a snob about it. It's like, I'm sure that it's funny.
Too
I
late.
personally don't like fish out of water jokes. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
So I don't like it because to me it's too
Well,
easy and played out. It's like, what is this thing? It's like, that's a fucking
Go Sterling.
urinal cake.
well, fishes can't go out of water, so the joke's on you, bitch.
This podcast is
Okay.
over. That was good. That was good.
No,
I was
but
gonna. Well,
besides that,
I'll say.
just one more
I
thing.
Go ahead. Sounds like the
Okay,
presidential
I'm
debate.
sorry. It really does. But sorry for the delay. We have technical difficulties. But anyway, uh, there definitely the scene where he's dressing in the different clothes that definitely went way too long in my opinion. Um, it just
However,
kind of felt too improv at points. I don't know, you know. But overall, the chemistry, I still think the chemistry between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine is pretty good. Like I still think a lot of that is carried over from the first movie, and so that's like another positive as far as like their relationship goes. I think
I,
it was still pretty good.
yeah, man, I cannot wait for Wonder Woman 3, and I know it's gonna be about how the Make a Wish Foundation started, and we're gonna see him again. You know, she's gonna find another object to bring him back. And he's the first Make a Wish
Yeah.
Foundation guy.
Yeah, I hope they don't
Okay.
do that, but we'll see.
I think we've run pretty long. Do we want to do closing thoughts?
Sure.
I can
Yeah,
go. Well, you go.
obviously.
Yeah, we'll do
Oh,
it in the order we started. Trey, Sterling, Matt.
What?
obviously, my grievances have fell on, deaf ears, but that's okay. I'll get my word in edgewise on the comments. But okay, sorry. Uh, I enjoyed the movie for the most part, and a little too much talky at the end. I agree with Matt that there wasn't enough action, uh, and like he said, it fell flat because they didn't set it up at the end for her saying the whole speech, and so disappointed in that. Love Chris Pine, love Gal Gadot. Respect and admire Patty Jenkins as a female director in this new world we live in. Me too. So go ahead, make Wonder Woman 3. I love it. I cannot wait for it. Pedro Pascal. I cannot wait for Mando 3. Too bad we won't see you in another Patty Jenkins movie. But yeah, yeah. I just hope the next one's better. That's all. I'm sorry. We talked about a lot of stuff, and yeah, not enough action. Yeah. Sorry, such a lame ending. Too much dialogue. It's just way too much dialogue.
Yeah.
Not until you said something, man. I'm sorry to keep extending this, but not until you said something earlier about how not an hour until she put on her titty suit on again. I was like, really? Holy
Yeah.
crap! And here we go. And the memories keep flooding back that there wasn't enough action in this thing. But yeah, great
Why is it?
acting.
It's like, why was it 2.5
Great,
hours? Anyway.
Yeah.
yeah, it's really long. Yeah, Sterling.
Overall, I enjoyed the movie. Not as good as the first one. I think a lot of the action was lacking, whatever action there was. Um, but I think the chemistry between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine is still there for the most part. Um, and I think the emotional scenes with Wonder Woman were pretty good and kind of an improvement from the first one. And I think, but I think overall, like it was definitely disappointing compared to the first one. I like the ending more than the first half of the movie, but Trey kind of brought some good points about it was a little little cop outish for sure. Um, so yeah, but if I had to give it a rating, it'd probably be like a a 7 out of 10. But yeah, hopefully the third one can be a better movie for sure.
And I started with the most negative note, but I'll try to end on a good note, which is and I said the movie sucked and all that. And on some levels to me, it did. I think genuinely, it wasn't as bad as I thought Venom was, but maybe I shouldn't have said that because that'll open a can of worms. But didn't like Venom. I thought this was
Oh my
on the same
god.
level of unlikable. But no, this movie by the end, here's what I'll say this to keep it positive. The movie I said this to Christy when we were watching it. I was like, even if this isn't the best movie, of 2020, or this isn't one of the best superhero movies I've seen, or whatever, I'm like, there's going to be a lot to say about it. Like it's worth talking about. There's just a lot going on with it. I'm like, so it's not a so bad it's good kind of movie, because I don't think it was frankly that bad. It was just, but it is a fun to talk about kind of movie. It's one of those movies where I think that people who like talking about movies like us are going to reference 5 years from now and be like, it's going to be like this thing from Wonder Woman 84. Like we're going to keep, like, it just seems like one of those movies that's just kind of a weird movie in different ways. The plot's odd, a lot of weird, and I think that in that way it's entertaining. And I mean, this might be the longest podcast we've done as far as talking about a movie. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, it must have done something worth talking about, so
Yeah.
I think I don't regret watching it at all. I think it was entertaining, even just for conversation's sake.
Yeah. You like, subscribe, comment below, and we'll see you next time on the Fuckaroonies Film Fucks.
Sterling and Matt, the Film Fucks.